In September of 1939, World War II had just started, and the world was rocked. World War I had already happened, the war to end all wars. And yet here the world was, going through it again. And so during his Christmas address, King George VI said, "A new year is at hand. We cannot tell what it will bring. If it brings peace, how thankful we shall all be. If it brings us continued struggle, we shall remain undaunted." But it was a piece of poetry that he quoted at the end of his speech that has rung down through the time and created lasting memories for many who weren't even alive at that time. It's one of my mother's favorite memories, actually.
My great-grandmother we used to go up and have a holiday with her sister who lived in Oshawa, and they had quite a big home, like with a big upstairs, and she had a bathtub. Yeah, the first thing I used to do was soak in her bathtub because it was indoor plumbing. I was probably 9 or 10 or maybe younger. It was kind of one of those, you'd step in to the house and it was like that dark kind of quiet, peaceful, and it was just because it was a big old house, like it seemed to be this big old house, and you'd step in, and the first thing you were aware of was this dark quietness, and it was dark because it was shaded, but there was just sort of a stillness about the whole thing, and it had a plushy kind of a feeling, like old furniture and old, but good old stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it was all very interesting. So I used to quite enjoy it. Anyway, in their living room, they had this big old radio. It was a floor radio, like a floor model, and you just sit around on the couch and listen to whatever on that. But above it was hanging a written sign up above, like a plaque, some kind of a lettered thing, and that was what was on it, that one portion. And it said that King George VI had given it in his Christmas address. But I was so impressed by the wording, I just liked the sound of it, that I read it enough times when I would be there, like over and over, that the part that I remember is what was in my mind.
The piece of poetry that King George quoted was actually the prologue written to a poem by Minnie Louise Haskins in 1908. Her poem was entitled "God Knows," and her prologue read like this.
And I said to the man who stood at the gate of the year, "Give me a light,
that I may tread safely into the unknown." And he replied, "Go out into the darkness and put your hand into the hand of God. That shall be to you better than light and safer than a known way." So I went forth, and finding the hand of God, trod gladly into the night. And he led me towards the hills and the breaking of day in the lone east. As we enter this new year, again, we cannot tell what it will bring. But may I pray, along with what King George said in 1939, may that almighty hand guide and uphold us all. Blessings.